I'll be leaving this.
And of course, anytime we do some chest opening work, it's this beautiful capacity to open the heart. So when would you ever say that you have a day when you don't want to have an open heart? I think that it's so easy to just constantly shut down the heart, and it's important to kind of tend. I see that, Steve. Great. Just make sure you do a little rest before you leave. If you need an open heart, it's really something that it's a garden that you need to tend on the regular. So not only from the physical perspective of the constant hunching over and slunching that we do, but just the sense of courage and stout heart that we want to have in the world. We need to practice to cultivate that. So the back bending poses of yoga are so good, and they can be really strong and really active, but they can also be very passive and very nurturing. So we're going to do a little bit of both today to help us kind of tend that garden. So go ahead and close your eyes for a moment and just drop in. So let's be thankful for time in our day for our practice, for the courage and capacity to get on your mat, and for the will to stay present and look inward, to be here now. So try to turn the practice, your practice, very inward. So you're not trying to please anyone, you're not even trying to please yourself. You're just here to be present with what is. So feel the shoulders drop down. Feel the sense of spaciousness around your heart. Maybe you have some tendencies to collapse. So see if you can move away from those tendencies, get the shoulder blades to move down a little bit further on the back. Feel that your body can be supportive of an open heart without a force. Sometimes when we try to open our heart, all we do is push our chest forward and pinch our shoulder blades on the back. So let's try to be mindful that we're trying to create space. Let's move our way into awareness of breath. If you can, breathe through your nose as best as you can. Noticing how the breath moves in, how it moves out. See if you can start cultivating that Ujjayi breathing pattern where you slow things down. You're kind of noticing that the diaphragm is what helps you move the breath in. We're pouring and filling the bottom lungs, then the middle, then the top, instead of just the top. Feel fullness on your exhale too. Can you fully let your air go? Start to feel into the 360 experience of your rib cage, that you're not just a top breather or a front breather, but you're really expanding the whole bowl of your lungs. And also letting the whole bowl kind of compress and condense on the exhale. Let your breath move, be the wave. Notice any tension pattern through the back of your skull, the base of your neck. See if you can sense into the inner walls of your throat relaxing. And feel where your tongue attaches. So you have this little bone called your hyoid bone underneath, kind of behind your jaw. It's the bone where it's where your tongue attaches. And a lot of little muscles that help control your tongue. So let's feel into a deep sense of ease right there. Place your hands together at your heart, and let's bow into our practice. What do you need an open heart for today? And let's relax the hands, and let's come onto our back. All right, so find your way into your practice. So when we step onto our mat, when we lie down, because usually that's how I start my practice anyway, is lying down. When you find that first posture, commit to your practice. See if you can let it be a cue to let all the other things that are going on, just put them off to the side. They'll be there ready for you when you're ready to pick them back up again. But suspend a little bit of the mind to just allow yourself to be here in your body. Let's move. So stretch your arms overhead. Maybe point your toes and just give as long of a stretch in your body as you can. And then feel free to move around here. You can stretch one leg longer, one arm longer. Just feel into the awakening of the body. All right, and then bring the knees into the chest and rock a little bit, swaying from side to side, rounding the back just a little bit by just the act of bringing your hands around your shins will round the thoracic spine just a little teeny bit and let you be at ease. All right, let's circle the knees. Kind of check in. How is your sacrum today? How are your sacroiliac joints today? Okay, now let's go the other way, circling your knees the other direction. And then open the knees up and bring them back in toward each other. So going away from the midline and back to the midline, just feeling the hip joints loosen up just a little bit. All right, and then put the left foot on the floor and cross the right thigh over the left thigh and bring your knees up to your chest and hang on somewhere onto your shins or knees and just let your hips stretch a little bit, extend the spine. And then if you are able to, see if you can hold on with just your left arm and stretch the right arm up overhead. Move your right hip away from your shoulder. Find the breath. And then let's go ahead and unwind the legs. Stretch out to a starfish. Take a deep breath. Wiggle your fingers and your toes. Roll your wrists and your ankles. On your next breath out, knees into your chest, head up, and put your head back down. Put your right foot down, cross left thigh over right, and draw knees toward the chest. So you can hold on, and even if it's not comfortable to hold with your hands, you can use a strap to bring your legs toward your chest, whatever feels nice to you. All right, so breathe into a little bit of opening in that hip, and then when you're ready, left arm stretches overhead, left hip away from your left shoulder. And then relax, open, starfish your legs, arms out wide, and then knees into your chest and pick your head up. Okay, let's come down back to your whole body on the ground. Walk your legs. I have to move over a little bit so I don't hit furniture. Walk your legs over to the left. Walk your shoulders and your arms over to the left and just make a C shape in your body a teeny bit. And then stretch through that whole right side of your body. You can cross one ankle over the other if you want. You can hold on to one wrist. You can grab onto your right wrist with your left hand if you want to. Breathing deeply. Try to keep the shoulders and pelvis on the floor. How's your breath? Come back. Have a moment in neutral. Okay, bend your knees. Windshield wiper your knees. Just let your spine relax. Okay, then we're going to go to the second side. So walking the legs over to the right, inching your shoulders and your arms over as well. And feel that C shape in the body. Maybe you want to cross. And, I find obviously crossing the left over right is a little bit more of a stretch, but sometimes crossing the right foot over the left just helps you to relax into this. So experiment, see what feels good in your body. Notice if you're carrying any tension at the base of your head, the top of your neck, base of your skull. Relax there. Breathe into the side of your body. And then come back to a neutral place. And remembering that, heart openers aren't just chest open, aren't just front of chest openers. We want the whole 360 of our torso to expand. Bring your knees into your chest and rock. Let your low back ease from that. And then we're going to roll right over onto our right side. Make everything at right angles. So our knees are stacked, our ankles are stacked, right angles in your legs. Take a deep breath, open the arm up, open like a book, and let your chest stretch. So try to keep your knees together. So we're really trying to work toward opening the chest here. Breathing well. And if it's not comfortable to have your arm in space, then you can put a block or something underneath your hand if you want. Stretch across your pecs. And then exhale and bring your hand back. We're going to roll right over to the other side. Right angle. So the knees are bent and the hips, your knees are coming out from your hips, your ankles are coming out from your knees. You can always put a block or a blanket under your head if you need it for support. Take a deep breath in and open up. Try to keep your knees together so that we're really working toward opening the front of the chest instead of a deep twist in the spine. So if you don't like to dangle, support that hand in some way. See if you can breathe into opening the pec muscles. Full breaths here, stretch to your fingertips. And then exhale and roll back again. Back onto your back, knees to your chest, head up. Put your feet onto the ground and cactus open your arms. So your elbows are bent. You're at right angles here. Just rest for a moment on the floor and notice, do your hands touch the ground? So if the backs of your hands are easily resting on the ground, that's a good sign that your subscapularis and your rotator cuff is nice and free. But if you can only get your fingertips or your top knuckles or not at all, you have just a little bit of tightness in your rotator cuff, and we'll work on that a little bit. All right, before we get up and moving, we're going to take our right thigh, cross it over the left thigh again, and we're going to take the left arm and cross it over the right. So eagle pose on your back. Take a deep breath in, stretch your elbows up toward your head. As you exhale, hug in, knees and elbows coming toward each other. Inhale, tap your foot on the ground, head down. Exhale, engage your core. So see if you can feel the collarbone stretch. And as you exhale, compress into the ribs. Feel your core muscles. So remember, part of opening the heart is just getting mobile and free in the rib cage. One more time. All right, spread open your wings. Starfish out your body. Change sides. Left thigh over right thigh. Right arm over left arm. Drop shoulders. Open collarbones. Take a deep breath in. As you exhale, lift your knees. Lift your elbows. Lift your head. Breathe in to tap your toe and head. Breathe out to compress in. See if you can feel that your rib cage can really compress. The bottom rib cage can be very mobile in this pose. All right, open your body out. Starfish your limbs. Wiggle your fingers and your toes. And then let's just go ahead and roll right over onto our side and come up onto your hands and your knees. All right, let's start with some cat-cows. Okay, hands and knees onto the ground. All right, and start moving the spine. Even something as simple as just adding cat-cow into your day every day can be a beautiful way of remembering to move your rib cage and keep your heart a little more free. You don't have to always do extreme things to get mobility and freedom in your body and in your breath. All right, and then come to a neutral spine. We're going to do some rib cage rolling here. So drop your chest, your ribs down toward the floor, and then over to the right and up toward the sky. and over to the left and back down. So we're just rolling the rib cage around. See how mobile you can get with your thoracic spine and your ribs. A lot of times we think of back bends as really being an action of the shoulders and chest. But for today, I want you to really feel that it's really about opening up our rib cage for better breath and better open heart. Change directions if you haven't already. Breathing well. All right, go ahead and rest your body back to child's pose. Hips toward the heels, walk the hands out in front of you to a comfortable place. Breathe into the ribs here, relax your neck. Can you feel the expansion of your breath? The condensement of the breath. All right, walk the hands over to the side of your mat, either side. Just find your way, drop some weight into the hips again, relax your neck. Over to the other side. Notice, we've already done a posture like this in that C pose we did on the floor. So just notice if your rib cage feels open a little bit more than it usually does at this point. Base of skull soft. All right, let's come back to center, up onto all fours. Reach the left arm, feel that chest opener. Thread the needle, shoulder down. Enjoy the rib cage mobility. Breathe into the back of the ribs now. Relax your neck. And inhale, arm all the way up. Place the hand down onto the ground. Second side, start with your arm up in the air. Take a breath here, open the chest. Exhale and slide that shoulder down. Feel the shoulder blade widen and broaden. Feel the ribs touch the spine. Breathe there. All right, inhale and lift that arm all the way back up. Place the hand down onto the ground. And let's get the rest of the body involved now. So come up to dog pose, start to feel into the legs. Start to pedal your feet, maybe dropping one heel, bending the opposite knee. Feel free to move your hips around. Feel free to drop a shoulder, lift a shoulder. Just let any kind of mobility start to happen before you find the stillness of your pose. Just loosen your body up. And then as you're ready, you can start to slowly stop moving and feel the inner dynamic nature of this posture. Root to rise. Melt your head. Soften your jaw. Soften your throat. See if you can soften the trachea. Soften that hyoid bone. Let things relax. Feel the sit bones lift. A little inner spiral of the thighs. Stretch your inner heels away from your big toes. All right, and then let's walk our feet forward and come into Uttanasana. Fold in half. Relax your neck. Okay. Let yourself be at ease here. Feel free to shake if you want to bounce or wag your tail or move your head around. Inhale for a halfway lift. Lengthen through your spine. Spread open the bones of your feet. Let your feet get broad. Lift your femur bones high and back. And then exhale and melt and fold. Push off your feet. Drop your hips. Lift your chest. Come up to Uttanasana. Maybe you want to lift your arms up high. Lean back a little bit. Chest broad. Cactus open the arms. Melt the shoulder blades toward each other and then exhale and round the shoulder blades apart from each other. Let's feel a little bit of that movement again. Open chest, shoulder blades toward the midline. Exhale, shoulder blades away from the midline. Interlace your fingers. Press your palms straight up in the air. One more side body stretch. You can have your feet as wide as hips or maybe a titch wider if you want. Open up through the side of your body. And then open up the other side of your body. Breathe, let the neck be soft. Breathe into the ribs. And then relax and melt. Roll your wrists around, shake out your hands. We're gonna come down and place your hands on your knees. You can lock out your elbows just a little bit here and just find your breath. So we're just gonna do a little bit of mobility in the diaphragm here. So relax completely. You let your belly fall. Your knees are bent. Your hands are on your knees. Okay. Just feel into the ease of releasing your diaphragm down. Take a deep breath in. Exhale fully. Keep your exhale out. And then just pump 2 or 3 times. Pump the diaphragm up and down, up and down, up and down. And then take a breath. Do not stress yourself out. If this is part of your, if you know how to do this pranayama technique well, feel free to just go to town and go fast. But if you're new to being able to move your diaphragm, let's just do this nice and slow. Another breath in, a breath out. Chin toward your chest a bit. Hold your out breath. Pull your diaphragm in and down. In and release. In and release. And then breathe. We'll do one more round. And you can go faster than that if you have control over your diaphragm and you can just pump it quickly. All your breath out. Chin toward your chest. Pump your diaphragm. Breath in and relax. So, we're trying to go the whole cylinder of your chest, diaphragm to throat and around your ribs. Take a deep breath in, open through your heart, and then exhale and float forward. Relax your head. Inhale, halfway lift, lengthen through the legs. Exhale and melt again. Step your left foot back. Your right foot's coming forward into a lunge. Extend through your spine here, breathing well. Let's start to move. So straightening and bending that front knee to whatever you need. So you can keep it a deep lunge and then straighten a little bit. Maybe you straighten a lot. If you were in class yesterday, we did a lot of work on forward bending. So let's try really hard to not just round your spine too much. Opening up the hip flexors. All right, place your back knee onto the ground. Lay down the toes unless you like them curled. Inhale and rise up onto our knee. Let's take your forearm on your knee and stretch open your chest. Feel the breath. Now feel the side body connect to the hip flexors. And then we're going to turn this into a twist. So drop the elbow to either the outer knee or forearm on your knee. And you can take this twist deeper with palms together or just keep your hand on your knee. Drop the shoulders, widen the collarbones. Try not to be scrunched up. Breathe well. And then melt your hands down onto the ground. Take your hand on the inside edge of your foot. Back knee can either now stay on the floor or you can curl your toes under and lift that back knee up off the floor. Sit bones widen, find your breath. And then as you're ready, back to dog pose. Extend through the spine. Feel the difference in your 2 sides. Deepening your breath. Inhale, come forward into a plank. Hold yourself steady. Now, because we have a lot of core work to do here, we're going to feel our ribs have to push out to the sides. Our diaphragm is going to move sideways instead of down as much. So feel the side ribs expand and condense. Breathe all the way under your armpits. Condense all the way. Use your core on your exhales. Inner thighs lifting toward the sky. Try not to compress your back. Okay, find your way to the floor. Roll the shoulder blades a few times. So up toward ears, up toward sky, and back down. Let them loose on the ribs. Inhale, cobra pose. Open the chest. Exhale and melt back down. Take your hands wide, wide cobra. Stretch into the belly and legs. Reach your feet. Exhale and melt back down. Come up onto all fours. Do some rolling of your ribs or moving of your feet from side to side. Loosen up your back. Dog pose again when you're ready. Bend your knees. as much as you want. They can be really deeply bent in this pose to keep the length of your spine. Push off your hands, lengthen through your side bodies. See if you can let your ribs lengthen, but also the space from your ribs to your pelvis lengthen. The more you bend your knees, the easier this becomes. Let's bring our left foot forward. Come into a lunge. Open up the heart. Let's start moving here. As you're ready, straightening the front leg a little bit. Chin toward chest if you want. Bending the knee. Moving with breath. Moving with breath. All right, let's place our back knee down onto the ground. Uncurl your toes if you want, or curl them in. Bring your hands up onto your thigh. And when you're ready, reach the arm up in the air. So remember, we're not falling, we're not collapsing. Hug into your legs, front heel and back knee toward each other, inner thighs toward the midline. Feel that extension from the support. So if we're falling, we have a really hard time feeling the whole body lengthen. So root into your legs. Feel the extension of your side body. Press your front heel into the ground. And then let's turn this into your variation of twist. It could be that your forearm rests on your knee. You could put your elbow on your knee and cross your hand to your shoulder. You could put your elbow on your knee and have your palms together. However is best for your body. Remember, when we twist, we're not pushing on our bones. Open your heart. Let the breath take you where you're going to go. Let the obliques, the movement of your rib cage, take you where you're going to go. All right, come back. Bring your hands to the inside edge of your foot. Hey, your back knee can stay down onto the ground, or you can lift it up. Move your shoulders away from the ears. Find the extension in your heart space. Breathing well. Back to dog pose when you're ready. Extending through the spine. Deep breath here. Let's come forward into a plank. Feel into that engagement of the core. See if you can feel, try to get the breath to travel all the way along the side rims of the body, from your armpits to the base of your ribs. Feel that your exhales are full, that you can compress the ribs, you can compress the lungs. Okay, find the floor. Take your arms into a cactus. Elbows come down toward your ribs. Inhale and rise up. Maybe your legs come up too. Feel the work of the back of the body. Exhale and melt back down. Up onto all fours. Reach your right leg straight back behind you. Left arm out in front of you. Feel that integration of your front and back body. So there's a little bit of balance in here, but mostly we're just trying to feel how we are self-supporting through our core and the muscles along our back, including our glutes. How's your breath now? All right, deep breath in and lengthen. Exhale, hug in. Elbow and knee. Inhale, bring it out. Exhale, bring it in. Inhale, bring it out. Place your elbow and knee onto the ground. Change sides. When you bring your hand in the air, thumb up toward the sky, this will ensure that you're externally rotating your arm in the shoulder joint. Feel the glutes turn on in that back leg. Can you engage through your core? All right, take a deep breath in and lengthen. Exhale, hugging it on in. Inhale, bring it out. Exhale, bring it in. Reaching arm and leg, hand and foot down, dog pose. Rise all the way up, feel that extension. Lift your right leg in the air and stack open the hips. See what it feels like to reach into space. Try not to collapse through the left arm. Then we're going to swing that leg back to neutral and bring your foot forward. Come on up. Parseval Kunasana. You can use a block if you want. You can put your elbow on your knee. However you choose to do this pose is great. Open up through the chest. Before you bring your arm overhead, let's feel the expansion of the rib cage here. And then as you bring your arm up, see if you can keep both sides of your ribs expanding instead of collapsing one and overarching the other. Shoulders away from the ears, root into your feet. Breathing well. Relax your neck. Full inhales and exhales. Round through your legs. Enjoy the posture. Okay, we're going to move our way into a reverse warrior. So bring that arm down and the other arm comes up. Rib cage expansive. Breathing well. Find just a moment of a warrior two. Breathing deeply, shoulders down. And then find your way back to dog pose. Extend through the spine. Take your feet wide on the mat. Turn your toes in and feel that inner spiral of your thighs. Make a lot of room in your pelvis so that the breath can travel low. Relax your neck. Bring your feet back forward to the midline so that we're, well, not the midline, but to a hip width apart. Lift the left leg up in the air. When you're ready, stack open that hip, breathing deeply, bend your knee. Full inhales, full exhales. Okay, let's square up again and bring that foot forward to a lunge. Climb up, turn, and open up to the side. So when you come into Parseval Kunasana, if you always do this with your elbow on your knee, perhaps try either a block on the front of your knee or behind your knee. So there's so many different ways of coming into this posture. If your knee is a little troublesome, you can even put a block against a piece of furniture to support yourself. Open up both sides of your rib cage. Reach the arm up in the air as you're ready. Drop the shoulders away from the ears. Feel into the openness through the full side, not just, right here on your ribs, but the full side of your body, feeling its length. Can you ground evenly through both feet? Press them down. Relax your neck. Soften any places that hold tension unnecessarily. Give that energy to your legs. Give that energy to your breath. Inhale, rise up, reverse your warrior. Finding the breath. Enjoy your rib cage. And then find your way into Virabhadrasana. Round through the legs. Press down, rise up. So root to rise. Relax your shoulders. And remember, any variation with the arms work. All right, straighten your leg. Let's turn to the long edge of your mat. Interlace your hands behind your back and open across your chest. Lean back just a little teeniest bit. And then exhaling, coming forward. See, perhaps it's comfortable for you to bring your arms over your head or, away from your spine. Maybe that does not work for you and you'd rather put your hands down. Relax what you can. Melt. Now feel that the rib cage, the exhales, when you're upside down, your rib cage and your diaphragm melt a little bit deeper into the exhales passively. So enjoy the full exhales. Spin back to your mat, another dog pose. Extend through the spine here. Deep breath. We're going to put our knees down onto the ground and walk the hands farther forward. So puppy pose. The hips stay high. And now we're working to get the shoulders to really open up here a bit. So drop the thoracic spine, but a little lift under the armpits so we're not collapsing. How's the breath now? All right, and then walk the hands back. Walk the knees forward and find child's pose. Now, this, we would never really think of child's pose as a back bend, but it is a chest opener. Feel the back of your chest. Well, I shouldn't say it's a chest opener. It's a rib opener. It's a heart opener, the back of the heart. It's a breath expander. So feel into the way the back of the body can, imagine it being the front of your body. Open the rib cage up for breathing. All right, come back onto all fours. We're going to come back onto our belly. Bring your arms back behind you, palms facing the floor. Lift your shoulders up, lift your triceps into engagement, and lift through the front of the chest. Keep the back of the neck long. Keep the legs on the floor for this variation. Breathe into the strength of your back body. And then exhale and melt. Now, if you're comfortable with that action and you want to go a little deeper, interlace your hands behind your back for a full locust pose. If that's not working for you, if your shoulders don't feel comfortable with this bind, repeat what we just did. This time the legs come up and let the diaphragm work for your pose. Breathing well. Full back body from the bottom of your feet to the back of your head is engaged a bit. Try not to pull your head back. Relax and melt. Turn your head to one side or the other and lift your feet up and rock them left and right. Breathing well. All right, let's roll over onto our left side and bring your knees a little bit closer toward your chest, kind of like hip width apart, or I mean hip distance. Grab onto the top of your right foot and stretch your right quadricep. And let this be relaxing. Soften. You can put a block or a blanket under your head if you need it. Reach into the length of your quadricep. Tailbone moves down. Enjoy the opening of your quad. All right, and then relax. We're going to roll over to the other side. Okay. Grab onto your foot and find your way into a quad stretch here. So tailbone toward the knees, pubic bone toward the belly button. Relax your head. Just enjoy the fibers of your quadriceps. See if you can spread out the stretch to not just be in one little area. Great. And let's roll back over onto our belly. Grab onto 2 feet now. Take a deep breath in. And we're going to lift up, lift your legs, lift your chest. Try not to compress the back. Tailbone toward the knees, pubic bone. You're engaging your core a bit here, so it's not just falling. Breathing well. Keep the back of your neck long and lift that hyoid bone. See if you can lift the front of the throat. And then exhale and melt back down. So come up onto all fours. We're going to repeat that. Let me just talk about the hyoid bone just a little bit. You can move around in any way that you want. You can be on your belly with windshield wiping your knees. You can be on all fours moving around. That horseshoe shaped bone right here under your chin in the back behind your chin a little bit has this fascial connection through the whole front of your body. So when you draw the chin, like almost like a double chin, draw the chin in and up, we have this sense of lifting that hyoid bone. We can lift the whole plane of the front of the body with it. So when we do this and back bend, you know, when we're on our bellies and we throw our head back, we lose the integrity of that fascial connection. So that's why a lot of times you want to keep the back of the neck long in back bends so that you're not just falling, because we lose the ability to gain that access to the whole front lift of the line. So when we repeat, Dhanurasana here, draw your chin toward your chest when you come into it and lift from there. It's not a head flinging back. So when I say from the back of your neck to the soles of your feet, you want to have this sense that you're drawing in and up to lift your body back. So let's try that again. Feet, grab on with your hands, okay? Double chin yourself a little bit. Chin toward your chest. Inhale, pull up from there. Lengthen through the belly as you engage. Breathing, let your diaphragm move you. Kick your feet into your hands. And then exhale and melt. Turn your head the opposite way and windshield wiper your knees. Breathing deeply. Come up onto all fours. Move the spine around. Feel free to come back to dog pose or just bring your right foot forward here and plant your back heel down. So however you want to get there, we're finding our way into Vira 1. Arms come up. When you tip the head back, once again, try not to fall. We're not collapsing the back. We're not collapsing downward. Draw the chin in and up. Lift the whole front body as you bring your head back. Take your front body with it, with that high leg bone. Ground into both legs. Do not go too deep in this posture. Exhale. Hands down onto the ground. Half splits here. Place your foot down. Uttanasana. Step your right foot back, left foot forward. Interlace your fingers the opposite way. Come up. Maybe you like your hands back here and you like to be here in Vira 1. Maybe you like to lean forward a little bit in Vira 1. Do not attach yourselves to any one vision of what the pose looks like. Come into what the pose feels like. If you are coming up more upright and having that little bit of a back bend in the thoracic spine, chin towards chest and then lift from there. Breathing well, ground through both legs. Open the heart. So open the side bodies. Exhale, hands down, half lift. 2 feet down onto the ground. Feet hip width apart, bend your knees. Feel free to sway and move your head. Relax. Grab onto your elbows. Bend your knees as much as you want. Relax your neck. Inhale for a halfway lift. The spine is growing. Exhale. And melt back down. We're going to find our way to the ground. One more active pose, and then we kind of move more passively. Okay? So come into onto your back, and you can do this passively if you want with block. We're going to find a full bridge pose. Reach the feet, all 4 corners, arms come down. If you want to interlace your hands underneath you, if that's available and good for your body. Otherwise, you can do what I'm doing where you press your arms into the floor. You can even press your upper arms and elbows into the floor and have your fingertips pointing to the sky. Find the work that's right for your body. Relax your neck. So do not compress your neck into the ground. Feel your chest lift without pushing your neck down. Root into 4 corners of your feet. Open the breath up. Melt and relax. Turn your head from one side to the other. Cross your right thigh over your left thigh like we did in the beginning. Bring your knees to your chest. Sometimes I like to do this with a strap behind my legs so that I don't have to hold with my hands. You just decide. Relax the base of your skull. Relax the back of your head. All right, we're going to put your feet down. Stay with your legs. We're going to scooch a little bit onto your left hip And then we're going to drop our knees over to the left. You can stick a block underneath your left leg, your legs on the left side, if going to the floor is too deep of a twist for you. Breathing well. Turn your head away from your knees. And then come back up. Keep your legs, we're not moving them yet. Scoot your hips to the left, and we're going to drop our knees to the right. If you need a block, stick the block underneath your legs somewhere. Breathe into the twist. Open up your rib cage. Open up your hip a bit. Lift your legs. Starfish out your body. Knees into your chest. Head up. Before we do the second side, 2 feet in the strap or hold behind your legs. Lift them straight up in the air. Femur bones away from shoulders. You can either hold the strap or behind your legs. Feel the extension, evenness in your spine. And now when you're ready, cross left thigh over right thigh and draw your knees to your chest. If you're using a strap, try putting it behind your legs. That's how I like to do it, but really whichever way feels right to you. Just hold your legs. Breathing well. Wide sit bones, neutral lumbar spine, shoulders are relaxed. The back of the head is resting. Go ahead and relax your legs down onto the ground. Going to the left first, so lift your hips up, scoot them right, and we're dropping our knees over to the left. Block underneath your knees if you need it. Breathing well. So our left foot is kind of on the outside of our right knee or right thigh. Maybe your legs are a little crossed more deeply than that, so kind of the calf is on the outside of the knee or thigh. Lift back up. Scoot your hips to neutral for a moment. Breathe in neutral, and then knees or hips over to the left. Knees drop right. A block underneath your legs if the floor is too far. Enjoy this pose. So turn your head, let your chest expand. Relax your head. Let your head feel its full weight. Now, and lift your knees back up. Okay, feet flat on the ground. Do a little bit of a pelvic tilt here. And then when you're ready, we're going to bring the knees to the chest and rock. Now you get to decide how deep you want to go into a forward fold. You can grab onto your feet and come into happy baby. You can lift your head up. You can just keep your knees to your chest. You can even go all the way into plow pose if that's something your body wants today. Just kind of find what feels right to you. As pose we're going to do before Shavasana. Take your time nourishing your back. I'm just going to describe this. So we're going to do Parseval Kunasana with a fair amount of support so that you're not, you're passively in a chest opener. You're not in a back bend. We want to have our hips and our spine supported. So if you have enough props, try taking your 2 blocks like this, where you have 1 block on the middle height, 1 block on the low height, and put a blanket on top of them to lay back on. So you're on a little slope. If you have a bolster, you can use a bolster. And then the next blanket, if you have two, I hope you have two, or pillows, you can use pillows or another set of blocks. We just want to support under our knees. So I'm going to roll open the second blanket so that it's a long snake. I'm going to be in front of my blanket that I'm going to lay back on. And I'm going to have the support under my head and under my chest. And then I'm going to have the support on top of my feet and kind of tuck it under my my legs, kind of right at your hip joints, so that you have a lot of support in this pose. And then, you know, make any little adjustments that you need to make. You can grab couch pillows or bed pillows or anything that supports you. Try to let this pose be very supported. I don't want you to feel like you're hanging in space with any part of your body. And if for some reason it's just not comfortable on those blocks, you can make some different choices. Sometimes it's helpful to have blocks a little higher or a little lower. So you experiment with what's right for your body. Once you get settled, check in one more time. Am I comfortable? Am I gripping anywhere? Am I fully supported? And if the answer is not yes, make more changes, grab more props, stick more stuff underneath your knees, stick more stuff under your back, under your head. Have any support, build a nest. And once your nest is feathered, rest. The most important job you can do is melt your body and breathe. All this work we've done to remove the ribs and open your rib cage. Step out of the cage. Come into a full breathing body. Diaphragm can move easily. Pelvic floor is free and receptive. Free, soft belly. Passive arms and shoulders. Melt your whole skull down. Relax the inner walls of your throat. Loosen your jaw. Let your tongue just be incredibly soft in your mouth. Relax your eyes. Now you can stay here. You can just ignore me and stay here for a half hour if you want to. You can change at any moment to come into Shavasana. You can stay here if you're very comfortable for the entirety of Shavasana. If you are changing positions, just be very mindful of the support and warmth that you need to let your body rest, to let the mind rest. Whatever you're choosing, stay present for the body and breath. begin to deepen your breathing. Feel your way once again into a beautiful, expansive, open heart where your ribs and chest can all be fluid and mobile. Feel the breath move in and out. As you're ready, find movement. So if you're still in Supta Baddha Konasana, maybe straighten your legs or bring the knees to your chest. Whatever you're choosing. Eventually finding anything that helps support your transition, any movement that helps support your transition. To your side, come up to sit when you're ready. See if you can feel that even when your hands are at your heart and you're bowing, that you're not collapsing, that there's a stout freeness, sense of integrity and openness. Let's breathe into that space and offer our hearts to another. Namaste. Thank you, everyone. I'm sorry about the construction noise outside. It's a little loud where I live. So.
Thanks.